Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I can't believe it is the tail end of November as I'm recording this. I hope you have been staying cozy and warm if you are living in a country that has autumn and is going into the winter stride in the next couple of weeks. I have a lovely cup of hot chocolate. I've been in my hot chocolate kick recently and I got dark chocolate, so it's just really perfect for the weather. Anyway, I realized we haven't really caught up on things, and to be honest, I am all caps tired. I'm very tired. This year really put me into a whirlwind of things that I had to do at the start of the year. So now that I'm on the second half of the year where things are kind of more settled in, I feel this constant need to be productive and to do something. And I don't think it's been helping my mental state in any way. So I made a list of things that I would like to do this autumn winter season in order for me to slow down intentionally and also carve out time to pay attention to the energy levels that I have. To approach things in a more gentle and easygoing way is ideally my goal for the next couple of months. I'm the type of person who needs to have a list of things that I need to do in order for me to function. When you say rest, that's like very generic. So I have compiled some cozy and creative activities that you can try if you're an introvert like me who likes to stay home and also just likes doing things with their hands, like something crafty, something in the kitchen, and of course getting into our journaling groove. Before I share the cozy and creative activities that I recommend doing this time of year, I decided to do a mood board slash vision board slash, I don't know, just like a visual board of what I wanted this season to feel like. And I got to do this with the help of Kittle, who is sponsoring today's video.
Kittle is my go-to design platform whenever I make vision boards because it keeps everything super seamless from start to finish. Whenever I make vision boards, I like to look for photos that sort of match what I envision or have in mind. And with Kittle's features like the remove background and being able to find specific images that I need, it's been really seamless to put all of this together. I also love that everything is just doable in this one browser and you are able to save your work and also adjust it according to your needs. My workflow feels very intuitive, so instead of fussing with software and finding different assets, I can just focus on the creative part, which is gathering my ideas, refining what I want my mood board to look like, and eventually put it together in my own art board. So right now, I've been kind of playing around with both autumnal and winter related elements, and I also wanted to add a hand with a paintbrush. I just wanted this vision board to actually encompass everything that I want to do throughout autumn and winter, and that is a great reminder for me to kind of plan out things that I would like to do and be able to actually do them. And I had so much fun looking through the image libraries and the assets because they had everything that I needed, and some pleasant surprises like this Magician tarot card, which is actually my birth card. And that's how I did my vision board on Kittle. If you'd like to try it out for yourself, they have a limited time Black Friday offer, 25% off annual plans with all the pro tools unlocked. Use the code BF2025 and check out the link in my description for more information.
Another tip for my fellow journalers is to print out a similar size of the mood board. So I have one on my desk that I see every day, but I have one that's A6 size, so I'm gonna paste this on the first day of December just so I can kind of see it all the time as I flip through my daily journal. Speaking of journaling, of course, I will recommend journaling as a cozy and creative activity that you can definitely try. If you're new to journaling, I have some videos that can kind of guide you to the right direction. But with autumn, winter things, I think it is a great period to just reflect and think about the year so far. I actually love documenting the season. So I have started writing and journaling and kept a lot of ephemera that I definitely need to tend to sometime in October, where I had my housewarming and also like some discoveries around the neighborhood that I'm currently living in. A few weekends ago, my friend and I went to the park to have a little, autumnal photo shoot before all the leaves turned brown and the sky, well, it was very misty that day. So let's journal about that.
I'm using my overflow journal, which just means this isn't my daily journal, but if I have like highlights of the week, I tend to put them in this traveler's notebook insert. Right now, I am on my autumn, I think this like late summer autumn insert, and I wanted to document the nice day that we had in Tiergarten, and we managed to actually take some Instax photos. So that's me and my friend Ven. And then I kept a little package ephemera of Le Maison because I have been really obsessed with it at the moment, and I think it just matched perfectly with the typography kind of being there and also complementing the page on the right. For the right hand side, I just added a little bit about the new hot chocolate that I got. I know I've been talking about hot chocolate nonstop, but the top part of this journal spread is actually a coffee log, so I thought it would be nice to have a beverage related page on the right hand side.
If you're looking for more autumn journal inspiration or just journal inspiration in general, I'm going to be linking a journaling playlist down below that you can check out. I tend to have a lot of journaling videos around this time of year because it really just makes me think about the months that have passed and how I've been feeling, how I slowly transform into a different version of me as the seasons change as well. Next on our activity list, I would like to invite you to bake. Hear me out. I don't like baking. And I feel like when I say that out loud now, especially to friends, they think it's ironic because I think I've been baking weekly for the past month or so, and I've just been enjoying the process. Maybe it's because for the most part I've always been a cook. I like cooking, I like home cooking, but because I do it regularly, I don't find it as fun as I used to because it's more like a sustenance thing. But with baking, I get to do two things. The first is I get to channel my chaos in the kitchen. And I know it has like a lot of precision with like the measurements and everything, but I like following a recipe, and maybe it's me also being fascinated with science, with how like the dough rises and melts into the sugar and how everything kind of emulsifies. And the second thing being that once I bake my goodies, I can give it to friends. And I love giving goodies to friends. So it works both ways. I've just been baking a lot, and one thing that I have probably baked more than 6 times now is gochujang caramel cookies. It's a really, really easy recipe that I followed through Eric Kim at New York Times Cooking, and it's fun because I finally have a purpose to use my gochujang more. And also, I think it brings out a lot of festivity for the season because it's a bright red-orange color, and the gochujang caramel just swirls through the cookies, and it's so good. It is so good that I have a spare Tupperware with a few pieces of the batter left, so before I fly out, I'm gonna bake that and have that to snack on the plane. I have been putting this off for a really long time, but it is the season to write. And I think journaling is one thing, but writing is definitely another thing. Writing for me is a really lovely sacred act of thinking out loud and also sharing your thoughts on a certain topic. So actually growing up, I really was a very frequent essay writer. I even won contests in high school, and I had a blog like most of us do. And I wrote a lot about topics that really sparked my interest. And I realize now that while I am prominently everywhere on social media, there has been no direct avenue where I'm able to do that. And I've been feeling that, like, the emptiness of not having that, you know? And I always think like, oh, I can take photos, I can make art, but where is the part where I actually write stuff down? And so I have taken it into my own hands to commit to writing frequently on my Substack. So it is just a nice activity in general to just sit and write. And if you feel like it is overwhelming to just sit and write, which is what I feel a lot of times, I try to think about it as like, how would I talk to a friend about this? How could I turn that into a piece of writing? And it also is not something that you just sit and like, okay, I'm gonna write, you know? It's like, where are the creative energies? And I think with the colder weather, it is a great companion because it has that like melancholic feel to it. I could say the same for drawing as well. I do love drawing in the colder months and editing videos just because it's just, the peak coziness is like, it's really there. I think it is a great activity to try to get into, not even to just publish online. If you feel like you just want to write and kind of keep a library of ideas, just do that. Like something to just get your brain working. You know, my favorite part about writing I used to write a lot of books, is when I get deep and look into thesaurus and think of other words, just because I probably ran out of different words to say journaling. Like documenting, reporting, logging, but getting to know words, putting words into sentences, putting sentences into paragraphs, and putting that together is such a fun, creative way to get inspired. That being said, I am slowly working on my newsletter, so make sure to check out my Substack. It's entitled Documented, and I will link it down below, but it's pretty easy. Just search for Abbey on Substack and you'll find my newsletter. Last but not least, who doesn't love a movie night? I actually don't have a TV. Sad, but I'm working on that. But I think watching on a tablet, watching on your laptop, or just any device that is relatively big enough that you can watch and like relax is just a great way to unwind, especially if you just want to kind of zone out and not have to like lie in bed the whole evening being like questioning your life, which I mean, it's totally valid, but I try to do that lesser now. And I always run the risk of doing that, especially in the winter, because, you know, it's just so gray and it's just so dark. And I'm just like, oh, I just want to like... So when those days happen, I like to schedule. Scheduling is important. You have to write this in your planner, because if you don't, it just kind of like fumbles around into your schedule, and then you're like, oh, I'm actually sleepy, I don't want to do this anymore. So I like to schedule movie nights because it allows me to really prepare for the occasion. I don't know, make some snacks, make some hot chocolate. I say this because I'm a true introvert who just loves spending her time alone. And I recommend a lot of movies for the autumn-winter pipeline. So obviously we have the classic When Harry Met Sally. It is a slow burn rom-com set in New York in the fall. Well, it's set in a really long period of time, but predominantly it's like the autumnal movie. Another thing I recommend if you're more into TV shows, obviously these are recommendation you probably have heard of already, Gilmore Girls. But if you're craving for something a little bit more like heavy or deep, I wouldn't say it's autumnal, but I started watching it in autumn actually. I recommend Mad Men. Mad Men is a show that is probably one of the best TV shows of all time out there. And it is set in New York, in the advertising world in the 1960s. I don't think it's bingeable. I think it's more you watch one episode and call it a night kind of thing. If you're feeling more musically inclined, which I feel like I'm in my current musical hyperfixation phase, I highly recommend this series called Daisy Jones and the Six. It is also a book. I really love the book, but the series is also equally great. It's loosely based on Fleetwood Mac, so if you're interested in that kind of like 70s groovy California kind of show, highly recommend. The movie I watch annually is entitled The Holdovers. It's a really heartfelt and lovely movie. Highly recommend it. It's a bit heavy, but I think it is the most cozy winter movie you can find out there. I'm not big on Christmas movies, so I think in terms of movie lineups, those are the ones I have. And make sure to schedule that in your planner because, as I mentioned, it is going to be a great evening once you commit to watching a movie. Another thing I forgot to mention, but I actually have not done, is I want to make these like collages that are framed and I want to put them up on my walls. That's gonna be a winter activity I'm going to be doing because I've been scouting for a lot of frames. I also have been looking for ephemera in my stash so I could like display them in my office. But I think those are great activities also to just kind of get crafty. Pick up your pair of scissors, tape, glue, get creative, and also just come up with something that is tangible that you'll be able to see every day. Honestly, my big project this winter, which I will keep tabs with you on future videos, is actually furnish my apartment more. That's also why I want to take a step back at work and focus more on building furniture. There's still a lot of things that I need to do and finally feel very at home in this space. There is no better time to do that than in the winter. I think for work, I don't have that much big projects coming up, and I think for the first time in the 3 years that I've experienced the colder season, I actually will allow myself to slow down, and I invite you to do that as well. Yeah, that is it for today's video. I hope you find some cozy and creative ways to spruce up your daily routines. Let me know in the comments if you have a go-to soup recipe. I just got my immersion blender. That thing is life-changing. So I've just started making butternut squash soup, but I'm open to more recipes. Let me know what's one thing you cannot not do during the winter time. I find that as I now live in a new part of Berlin, I also am starting to figure out some new routines and also trying to feel out my energy and also see how that contributes to my overall headspace. So let me know also if you have some books, TV shows, films that you recommend in the comments, and also any creative activities that you have. Let's chat there. I hope to see you in the next video. Stay cozy, everyone, and take care. Bye.